I was 8 years old. We were living in an apartment building in Brookline, just outside of Boston. And I think I had just gotten back home from school. Because I walked in the door to the apartment. And as soon as I walked in, I could see down the hallway. It's a small place. And so down the hallway, there was my sister's room. My room was across, my mother's room was the end. And I could just see my mother. She was in the hallway. And holy moly, my mother was capable of some kind of rage. Like, she was a pretty small woman. She was very sweet and charming, with beautiful blonde hair, and she was lit up. She was like screaming, and I couldn't see my sister, but my mother was right in front of my sister's bedroom door, and she was just screaming. And the words that I remember, like toward the end of it, I think I got there partway into it, and they were too fired up to stop. Or I don't know if they even noticed that I was there. My mother said something like, "How dare you bring drugs into my house? You cannot." And then something that had never happened before that I know of, my sister actually rose up to my mother's level of intimidation and anger. I don't think I ever did that. And I heard my sister say, "Then I'll leave your house." And she pushed my mother, not that hard, I don't think, because I saw my mother like go back in the hallway, and she didn't like slam into the wall or anything like that. It wasn't that dramatic, but she came back like that. And then I saw my sister's face, just her body just come forward into the hallway so I could see the two of them. And I was like, holy moly. It was my mother's birthday yesterday. And I tell you that story not in any way to denigrate my mother or put her down. She was a beautiful, amazing woman, so resilient, so creative, and I'm incredibly grateful for her. And she did not overcome anger, not in this lifetime. She could get triggered and blow up. Yeah. So part of what that means to me is happy birthday, Mom. She's long gone from this physical plane, but I know you hear me in some way. And part of why I bring it up, though, is because the importance, the value of self-reflection, self-mastery cannot be overstated, right? Because we all have stuff, right? We all got stuff that's less than ideal, that creates negative impact in other people in the world, right? So here's one for me. I became aware recently that as much as I am and genuinely devoted to love and service and doing good in the world, right? And while that's completely true, I became aware of there was a layer of self-concern that was blending into that I hadn't seen, or not like that before. And it had an impact in some relationships and in my business. Right? And not anything real dramatic or real problematic, but it caused some negative impact, right? And that's something that I'm responsible for, right? I really believe I'm responsible for the impact that I create, regardless of what my intentions were. I wasn't intending to pollute my love and service with self-interest. However, it was happening. So blessed be, there was some drama, and I became aware of it. Painful, right? As I've shared recently, it was like a knife twist in me. Yeah, it really hurt. However, it gave me the opportunity to see something that I hadn't seen before. So I launched a campaign, a mission for myself to attend to that energetic, that pattern. Right? That's all it is. It doesn't make me bad. And yeah, sure, as I've been transforming in this specific regard, there have been times when I've like flat self-flagellation, right? Like beat myself up. Oh, I'm bad. Mostly though, I've caught myself, and my coach John has also helped catch me. Like, well, hold on, right? For any of us, for you, right? If we notice something in our character, our behavior, our attitude that's not producing great results that we consider problematic or a deficiency or a flaw, if we then castigate, what's your problem, right? Beat ourselves up for it, that just makes it worse. It makes it stronger. So in the process, I've taken steps to clean things up. I've taken steps to create an environment where I become more aware of that. It's about like 2 weeks, been an incredibly deep process for me. And sometime last week, I realized I want to go deeper with this. Like, I don't know. I imagine for my entire life, I will be continuing to notice self-concern. What does that mean, self-concern? Right? It's when I want something for myself, right? And it's not bad to want something for ourselves by any means, but when I'm in love, in service, when I'm oriented toward my dedication is to have that be pure, not tainted or polluted by self-interest in the same time. Another form of self-interest, the impression I make, what I want you to think of me. So I'm going to, right? Like, here's one, this little medallion. I love it. It has special meaning to me. It sort of contains symbolically my declarations for who I am, and it gets attention. People comment on it. So I realized the other day, well, let me check. Why am I wearing that? Is it because I want to make an impression? Self-concern, what you think of me. So, not totally sure, but this is the big inquiry for me right now is, what's my motivation? What's my intention? Because the energy behind our actions is way more important. The actions or the intention is way more important. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been wearing it because I love it and it's meaningful to me, just putting it on the inside, right? Another one is when I said, okay, how can I deepen this process? It's like, I fast regularly, or 4 times a year at least, and then once a month for a day, 4 times a year, solstice and equinox, typically 3 days, at least 7 in the spring. Solstice is a challenging one in December, right? Because we got all these holidays happening and gatherings and yummy food. So sometimes I've put it off until a bit later. This year I was like, yeah, let's move it up. Let's bring it forward. Right. So yeah, last week I'm like, oh, great, perfect. Not only do I bring it forward, start it now, this is a great opportunity for me to ritualistically use the fast to purify myself to become more pure love and service. So I was saying before, yeah, I imagine this will happen for my whole life. I imagine self-concern will arise and I'll have to say, I will say, oh, there you are again. Okay, let me reorient toward what matters to me, what's aligned with my destiny, my mission, what I'm here for, what I really care about. And I'm so committed to it right now. I am dedicated to going as deep into it, as far into it as possible, right? Any pollution, let's see it, let's eradicate it, right? In a heartful way, in a fun way. So, okay, I'm on a fast. I will use this fast for that purpose. I will daily do coffee enemas. That will help the process, right? And y'all, holy moly, it's been intense. A time of lots of tears, many fears, and a lot of tests, right? A lot of tests, a lot of challenging things come up around it. What a blessing. So, and I connect that back to my mother because, bless her heart, right? I don't think she even knew about the possibility that she could attend to that anger. She could notice, feel the negative impact it had on me, my sister, so many people. Ooh, the poor cashiers in stores sometimes. And had she known, had that been important to her, she could have created rituals. She could have overcome that. So same for you. Whatever it is as a part of who you are, It's not fixed. You're not fixed. You are malleable, right? So if there's a part of you that you don't like or you see is getting in your way, it can change. You can change it. We have actually a really beautiful methodology, technology for that. So, last thing to share, a little update for some of you because you are with me on the Complaint-Free Challenge right now. I think I'm 2 months into it now, my third time doing it, and I'm on day 2. Day 2. Today is a major victory, though, because earlier this week I had a bunch of phone calls with banks. One of my biggest challenges with positivity is dealing with bureaucracy and the endless loops of press 3 for this, press 4 for that. I'm like, ah. So twice earlier this week, I went back to day 1. This morning, though, there were a few more of those calls for me to make. And look, I'm still on day 2. A blessing. All right, y'all. I hope that was interesting, useful, certainly innocuous. If you got questions, comments, awesome. I'd love to respond. If you'd like to connect with me personally, if you'd like to see how I can support you into creating your most vibrant, thriving life, fantastic. Send me a direct message. Happy Holy Days, which, by the way, I spell as HOLYDAZE. See you soon.